Okay guys, this will be the last dream that I will be sharing with you tonight, and I'll be all caught up on the ones that I was supposed to share with you. This one was from November 28th, and this dream really kind of blew me away because when I dream, whether it be a dream from the Lord or whether it's just a regular dream, from my past, I don't really see people's faces very clearly in dreams. So, like, the only people that I'll really see clearly, like their faces very clearly, would be people that I see, like, on a regular basis, like my husband, or my dad, or other certain family members. But if there's other people, I don't normally see their face very clearly. Like, I might get an idea of who it is, or a lot of times I don't know who the people are. And there's even been times in dreams when I really couldn't make out their face at all. So, to have a dream where I see someone's face so clearly, especially somebody that is not directly like in my circle, is very rare, and pretty amazing. And I don't know if that's because I have really bad eyesight or what. I don't know if that has something to do with it, or if it's just like my capability during a dream is just not for these certain details. I notice that some people have amazing details in their dreams where I don't, and I don't know why exactly that is, but the Lord still uses me somehow, some way, for some reason. And in this dream, okay, I'm gonna go off my notes now. I saw somebody in this dream, and I hope it's okay if I say his name. I hope this video doesn't get taken down just for simply saying his name. I saw Fauci. I was in this, I think it was like a medical clinic. It was unlike any clinic I had ever really seen before. It honestly looked more like a pharmacy that maybe had been converted into a clinic. Like, it was completely just a bare floor, and there was these blue, like, plasticky bucket chairs that were like lining up on the wall, and there was some people sitting in the chairs, and there was a nurse, and the nurse was doing, I don't really know how much I can actually say on here. She was doing nasal swab tests for a virus, and I don't know about this, guys. I don't know. I've never had to do this before, where I say something that I don't know if it will stay. But anyway, she was doing this, and I remember there was a girl, and I don't really remember who she was. I don't think I knew her in any way, and I don't really know what her face really looked like other than she had dark hair. But she was there, and I was there too to get tested, and which is weird because I really, how do I say this? I would never do that in my right mind. But she was there. She was really worried. She didn't want to do it because the nasal swab test is so kind of violent and uncomfortable. And I've experienced what that feels like before, because a few years ago, several years ago, when I was first going to see Lyme doctors, they did a toxic mold test, and there was this huge Q-tip that they had to like stick way up in my nose and, you know, kind of move it around to test. It's like a Marcon's test. Well, so I know what it feels like, and it's not comfortable at all. And so this girl, she was really nervous about it, and the nurse was trying to make her feel better and wasn't doing a very good job. And so she did, and I remember counting it out when I saw the girl getting it done. I was trying to figure out, kind of like to like mentally prepare myself about how long it would take. How long do they do that? You know, when the Q-tip's way up. And I remember I was sitting there and I was counting. I was like, 1, 2, 3. I remember counting 3 seconds out. She was done. 3 slow seconds. And poor girl, you know, she had a nosebleed. And then she had to like go sit somewhere else, where all in the same room. She didn't go to a different room. We weren't in a private. When you got tested, you were just out in front of everybody. She went and sat maybe in a different, I think maybe on the other side of the room, to wait for her result. You weren't allowed to leave. I just knew in the dream you had to be tested, kind of a thing, like you had to be tested. It's kind of how it felt. But what I had this strong knowing in the dream that once you were tested, you were not allowed to leave until you got your results back. And even when you got your results back, you could not leave if your results were positive. You had to stay to get treated or whatever. And so I knew it was my turn, and I didn't seem to have much of a choice. And I remember she did the test, and it felt just like it did when I had the mold test. And she was a lot more rough with me than she was the other girl. She was not anywhere near as kind to me as she was to the other girl, because she knew in the dream, it was like she had this sense about who was there more willingly and who was there unwillingly. And she did not like me. So she was very rough, and she was not kind, and they were really watching me to make sure I didn't leave. And I remember there was this part of the room okay, so like the way I was facing it would be to my right. And it wasn't like there was a separate room there. It was all attached, but there was like a partial wall. And around the corner of this partial wall to the left were a couple more chairs. And then to the right was this, like, it looked like it used to be a counter, like when you're at Walmart. If you have ever seen their pharmacy, they have this small, like, they have the counter where you know, do your transaction for your drugs that you get, or prescriptions or whatever. But then off to the side, there's like a small window or something, where or another counter or something, where if you have questions or something like that for the pharmacist, and they'll come talk to you at that little window or smaller counter. Well, around this corner to the right was something like that, the small counter with almost like it looked like maybe it used to be a slot where you could slide money in or slide prescriptions out. But it was all barred up. It was like metal bars. It was really weird. But like it wasn't being used for that anymore. But here's the weird thing. It was still in business because behind that the lights were on, and I knew that there was something back there. So around the corner to the left where these couple of chairs were more private, that's where I saw Fauci sitting. And this is really weird, okay? I went up to him. I went straight up to him and was like trying to ask him questions about this virus and about just things that were on my mind. I was just really wanting to ask him questions. So I went up to him, and here was this is so weird. Keep in mind, dreams are symbolical about they have deeper meanings. Okay, that's all I'll say. He was holding a white styrofoam cup with a straw coming out of it, and he was drinking from it, and he almost looked like a little kid drinking from a juice box, like the way he was drinking it, and how he was kind of looking around like all big eyes, and it really threw me off. And when I was asking him questions, he said something to me, and he said it in like a child's voice. He said, and let me make sure I get this right. Let me look. Oops. Okay. He said, I get all of my information from the big guy. And he pointed to a guy who was standing in front of that old barred up like pharmacy window. And I am not going to say who that person was. I feel like I've really thought about if I should say who that person is. There was a man. It was a man. Broad shoulders, and he was wearing a dark blue suit, and he was facing the window like he was speaking to somebody on the other side, even though you could not physically see a person there. And Fauci, acting like a little child, like sucking from that thing and just like drinking his drink and like looking, and in that child's voice, like, I get all of my information from the big guy, and he points to the man who is standing at this window. And I'm looking at the man, and I'm like, hey, and I get his attention, and I start to ask him the questions too. And he turns around and looks at me and just kind of treats me like I'm dirt, kind of like snobby. And he turns back around towards that counter, and he's like, I get my information from them. And all of a sudden, I just knew. It was so eerie. As I looked through the bars, I could not see anyone there. But I'm telling you, I sensed that something was there. I just could not see it. And I knew instantly it was a demonic thing. And I think in this dream, that was the end of that part of the dream. And this video is going to be a little bit longer, so if you need to pause it and watch more later, then that's perfectly fine. Do what you need to do, because this is a kind of long one. But pretty much, I knew I knew this was a demonic thing, and it was a symbol that the faces that we see who are doing a lot of the things that we see being done in our country, especially this year and around the world, but especially in our country, people are getting orders. The person that you see is just a face a lot of the times. They're just a puppet a lot of the time. And they receive orders from someone else who receives orders from someone else. And ultimately, the idea is that yes, a lot of it is this way. And if you don't like what I say, that's fine. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to listen to me. You can turn this video off right now. I really don't care. I'm just going to tell you the truth. The truth is, a lot of the decisions being made right now are coming from the enemy. They're coming from the evil one. The evil one being Satan and his fallen angels. And that is where there's a lot of corruption right now. And a lot of that's going to be getting exposed, I think, very, very shortly. A lot of it's already being exposed. But there's going to be even more exposure of this evil. And I think that was the point there. But not to dismiss the fact that it's not always going to be your choice in what you want done. I really think there's going to be some mandatory things coming our way. I keep saying things and stuff and all of that because I don't want to be specific, especially on YouTube. But I ended up going to sleep and waking up. That the part that I just told you was also very unique because I fell asleep after the part where I got tested. And I mean, I woke up after the part where I said I got tested. And then I fell back asleep and started continuing my dream at the clinic. And that's when I saw the people I saw. And so that was very unique. I woke up again, and when I fell back asleep, I was no longer in the clinic at this point, the third part of this dream, but I saw Fauci again. So in my mind, it's just a continuation of the dream. I don't know if, I don't know why I dreamt this part, but I was in a store and there was a woman with me. I don't know who she was for sure. I think I have an idea of who she was, which is a Christian friend of mine. I did not see her face, but I heard her voice. She was with me. And we were in this store, and I guess it was like supposed to be a representation of like a Halloween store. You know how at Halloween time there's like all these like Halloween shopping places that pop up where you can get like costumes and stuff like that. Well, we were in a store like that, except I don't remember anything else about the store except this one wall that it was lined with shelves, and the shelves were almost completely bare. People had bought almost everything. Whatever this item was that was on the shelf was extremely popular. Everybody wanted it. And I do find it interesting too that I had this dream recently instead of like Halloween. I had it recently. But anyway, there was, as we were looking on the shelves, this woman wanted to show me this. That's why we went into the store. She was telling me, you know, I really need to see this. It's really disturbing. And it was, we were walking through and I was looking at the shelves, and finally I saw that there was a package still on the shelf. And I picked it up and I looked at it. It was about this big. It had a few items in it, and it was advertised. It was a vampire teeth like costume kit, and it came with the teeth that had a couple of things. It came with a little packet of fake blood and it gave instructions. So what you would do is the fangs had the ability to be opened, and you could pour the fake blood in it and close them up, and you could bite. You could, pretend bite somebody. You could bite down on them, and the blood would come out of the bottom of the fangs, making it look like when you bit somebody, that blood was actually coming down. And also in the package was a crescent moon that like a charm that you could, put on a bracelet, on a necklace, or something. And there was a little, little cardstock, piece about like that, and it had some instructions on it. And it was like, the lady told me, I didn't open the package and look at it, but the lady told me it's for spells that you can do. And so they gave you like the teeth, and they gave you the little crescent moon charm, and they gave you the little card that had like a few harmless spells that you could do for fun with your friends. And this little packet that you could get was like, had sold like hotcakes. Like everybody had wanted it. There was like none left, hardly at all, except maybe the one that I saw, maybe like one or two more on this long wall full of shelves. That was all that was left. And so we keep in mind too, when you would bite down on somebody, with those fake teeth, those vampire teeth, you would be getting that blood in your mouth too. Okay, so keep that in mind. The next thing I remember in the dream was that I believe we were in like this office that was attached to the store. And I guess it would be like somebody who was like a manager's office or something. And this is where I saw Fauci. Fauci was sitting in the chair at this desk, and he was putting these packets together. He was not the teeth. He wasn't putting the teeth together. He was taking this blood, and there was like blood in this big bag, and he was like squeezing it into the little individual packets that would go in each kit. And I knew, and he just had this look, like he was just loving it. He was like, he had this like sinister grin on his face as he was squeezing the blood into the packets. And I knew this in the dream, that blood was not fake blood. It was real. And it was harmful to anyone who ingested it through their mouth. It was like there was witchcraft involved in it. And that's the end of that dream. That's where I woke up. But it was I don't normally have dreams like that where I see people so clearly. I knew immediately that was definitely from the Lord. The fact that I kept having the same dream over again, which I don't normally do, like not having the same dream over again. I've had repetitive dreams before. What I meant to say was where I fall asleep and wake up and the dream just keeps continuing. And also it was kind of like the Lord wanted me, he had more for me to see, and I just kept kind of waking up. But I know some of you guys might think that I just have like an active imagination or something, but I know the difference between a regular dream that I have and a dream from the Lord, because it's night and day. And it's hard to explain. If you've ever had one, then you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to be judged incorrectly, but I guess that just kind of comes with the territory when you start sharing things publicly. But I don't expect you to always take my word for it either. I want you to pray about it. Ask the Lord about it. Am I telling you the truth? I mean, I am, but you don't know that. So take everything to the Lord in prayer. If you have questions, if you have more questions for me, please email me. I'll put my email in the description. I have an email for this channel, and yeah, I mean, if you want to know more, I have a lot of things that I don't feel comfortable putting up here because I know that the censorship issues have been really bad. So if you do have questions, please email me. I will try to check it more, and yeah, I think that's my last dream video that I needed to put out. So I am gonna be doing some videos on a little bit about who I am. I haven't done that very much, and so yeah, be looking for those videos, and I hope you guys have a good night or a good day depending on when you watch this. All right, bye.